What up, y'all? Welcome to the Clocked In Podcast. For today's guest, I have my man Jordan Pryor. We're going to be talking about his life, different things that he's been through, what he's going through, and what's going on with his life. All right, buddy. So obviously I know, right? But tell the people where you're from and what it was like growing up here too.
I'm from Cortland, New York, born and raised, certified licensed townie. Not much excitement here growing up in Cortland. I mean, you grow where you're playing, right? We had sports and family and friends and whatnot. That's the best I can remember. But all I remember growing up here in Cortland was like hanging out with my brothers, obviously hanging out with you. School and after school, it was like we just go to a park nearby or something like Suggit or there was Beaudry Park, but like I just remember specifically Suggit. It's where me and my brothers. That's where we would all go afterwards.
Facts.
And then we were all involved in sports too. So that's all we had. We had each other, and we had sports. That's all. That's really all I get from it.
Not facts. I could agree. Definitely growing up here, I feel like it was all right. But we really did have sports and just our family and whatnot.
Yeah.
So to kind of layer off that, right? So if that's what we had, if that's what you felt we had, what would you do, if anything? Would you change anything? If you could change anything about your upbringing as far as like where we're from, what we have here, what we don't have, is there anything that you would change?
That's funny. I was just talking to my brothers about this. Growing up, I thought we had like the perfect childhood. Like I don't think there's anything I would seriously take away from how we grew up and just how me and you in general, like what we had. It was just we had each other. We had a few friends that we saw like all the time. But as far as growing up, man, like we had it really good. I know Cortland's not really known for like, oh, it's big city, it's so much to do, but
right.
I think it was the people like around us like that made it like we didn't have to like go out necessarily and like try to figure something out as long as just like you showed up at my door, I showed up at your door, let's just do something.
Right.
It didn't matter what it was.
For sure.
But we always had each other and we found something to do, keep ourselves occupied. So
I couldn't agree more. And kind of you've been mentioning it a lot. I was going to ask you to kind of talk about it a little bit too, but just the layers of family, right? We both kind of grew up with big families and close-knit families as well. Talk about that, right? Talk about what was it like to have, there's no girls in the house except for moms. What's it like growing up with all brothers? What's it like having all your brothers so close as far as an age, right? And you guys all have a lot of the same things that you like in common, right?
Yeah.
What was that like?
As far as I can remember, it was always competitive. Like in anything, it didn't matter what we were doing, what we were playing. Like we came up with like the weirdest games too. Like still to this day, I was just down south and they're coming up with games and like when I went to see Donovan in Indiana, they're coming up with just weird. It's always competitive between us to the point where we start like arguing and like people think we're arguing or we're fighting and whatnot, and it's just like that's just what we do. But we had so many relatives as well, so it's like who thought and acted like the same way. It's just cousin after cousin after cousin, uncle after uncle after uncle. It's like, oh, who's this? Oh, that's your cousin. I'm like, okay, well, hey, you want to go play basketball or you want to go like, hey, dude. We had such a big family, like you two, like obviously,
Yeah, sure.
You had,
Sure.
you had Hardy, you had Deshaun, like Quayle, all of them. Mm-hmm. But like it's just all I can remember is like it was competitive, but it was like good competition.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we all loved it, we all loved each other. There was no animosity, like obviously it's like, oh, he beat me in this today, but I'm gonna get him back tomorrow,
right?
Something like
sure.
that.
Yeah.
But like having that and just constantly surrounded, like no girls, obviously it is what it is. My mom would always be the one trying to break up fights between us because she just didn't get it.
Right.
My dad did. He was like, I understand what it's like to come from that. So
right.
Competitive, but it was fun. It was good competition, and it was all love. That's all it is.
Nah, that's facts. I could definitely agree. I think for me, like growing up with so many dudes, my sister and my mom's. Now that I think about it, my cousin Mary Lamb, she moved in, but she moved out so quick, so she wasn't really there that long. But yeah, I definitely could agree with that. All right, so let's think now. After we talk about family, right, where we're from, let's talk a little bit about our high school experience, or your high school experience, I should say. Obviously, we both went to Cortland. We had similar friend groups, right? Similar friends.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean the situations are identical. So, what was your high school experience like? What would you just say overall? How did you feel about coming from Cortland High School?
I had obviously Derek, my older brother. Like, you know, he was first to go to the high school, but I didn't really like hear much about like his experience, like when he first was there, like what to expect, or like. So to be honest, like 7th grade, I get up to Cortland High School. I don't know what to expect. All I knew was like the people that was in my neighborhood that like we all went on the bus together. That's who I wanted to like hang out with. But then also again, I had the kids from Smith School who we went to school with. Like, you know, I had like the Jared Mahars, David Mutianos, Janessa Cornish. Like I had all of them.
Right.
And we were all in high school together. It was like, yeah, like this is comfortable, but it's like you're in high school for a reason. You know, you branch out, you make new cliques, and you gravitate towards certain things that like you like. So I found myself hanging out with like, you know, Antonio Chavez, just different groups of people. Like it didn't matter who it was. It's just like if I gravitate towards you, like I'm just gonna hang out with you. So I was kind of like all over the place, like to start out, and then going into the senior year, it's like I got into a chess club, which a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like, I was in a chess club, and if you were around like that, you were just like, people were looking at me and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Playing chess." Like, get away from me.
I remember that. That was crazy. I was like, "What? What is bro?"
People don't understand. It was just like, I was like, "Well, what's the game of chess?"
Right.
That's how I learned how to play chess. Just because like it just didn't matter. Like I just wanted different perspective from different type of people, which I feel like that's what Cortland offered. It was like a huge melting pot.
For sure.
Different people.
I definitely, I could agree. That's fire. I had a great high school experience at Cortland. I have no complaints. I think a lot of it, though, I'm not gonna lie to you, I think a lot of it is who we decide to surround ourselves with.
Yeah.
Right. I think our friend group was good, bro. I think we, in totality, I think we all kind of push each other in the right direction, and that made the experience not only fun, but it structured it well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to everybody that went to high school with that.
It also branched out like
it was a good
different, bro. It branched out like different personalities, like with us. Like,
yeah.
If people looked at me right now, like, "Oh, did you play any instrument?" and I told them cello for 10 years,
right,
bro, they would laugh. And, like, people do laugh. Like, "You played cello?" I was like, "Yeah."
For real.
Like, I don't know why I got into cello. All I knew was just I see people playing an instrument. People don't know I started with trombone though first.
Right.
Didn't like it at all. Did not like it.
That.
Trombone was just, it's
tough.
It's too loud.
All right, so we're gonna skip that. We're gonna go to the next level, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna talk college a little bit. But before we talk college, we're gonna talk sports. Okay, we'll talk basketball first.
Yeah.
I think everybody here in Cortland, when they think of you in sports, they think of basketball, right? I think that's a pretty
It's fair.
well-known opinion that everybody would have, I would assume. We all know you love Kobe, right? We all know that.
Hey, 2824 today.
It is. Shout out Kobe, R.I.P. But I gotta ask, what is it about Kobe that you were so drawn to, past the basketball side of things, right? Past the moves, past his basketball greatness. What was it about him?
So I started paying attention to Kobe like 2006, I think it was, and I forgot what game he dropped 81. And I started like actually focusing and like looking up videos of like what is Kobe doing, like how is he able to do this, like the fadeaway, like for example, I was like, oh, Michael Jordan did that first, and everybody's comparing him to Michael Jordan. I wanted to know why. And you start like looking at like videos, and you start watching him actually play. And there's just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a lot of people like to call it the eye test, like when you're playing.
Yeah.
But like, you can just tell, like when you're hooping or like any sport, there's something about this guy, like he's gonna find a way to win this game.
It's different.
I had no clue at the time like what it meant. I was just drawn towards that.
Right.
So obviously I started like paying attention and watching the games, and it's like clutch bucket after clutch bucket, finding a will to win after finding a will to win. And then here we are, 2008, 2009, 2010. He's like competing for championships. Like he's battling against the Celtics. You can even see it in his eyes in the interviews when he lost. Like I think it was 2008 he lost.
Okay.
He's just absolutely like, you know how people like, yeah, well, like, you know, we could have done better. We could have done this. He's furious. Like you can read it all over him. So I'm just like, man. And then you start going to the movie or the YouTube, and like you start looking up like his work ethic, and I think ultimately that's what like got me hooked onto him. I'm like, this guy just won't stop.
Right.
He's not stopping.
Right.
And he comes back, of course, next year, wins a ring, and then next year wins another ring. So at that point, I'm a senior in high school, and I'm just constantly watching Kobe videos. Again, you don't know why. You're just like, what's he doing? What is this move? Like, what is this footwork? Like, how does he do that? To the point where I'm going outside of my house, just at a hoop, like, you know, we put our hoops up in the road and this and that.
For sure.
And I'm like literally trying to mimic the same exact thing he's trying to do. And that just took hours and hours and hours and hours. And I'm just like, in the back of my mind, what I was always told was somebody's doing the same exact thing you're doing right now somewhere else.
Right.
And you might be competing against them
Right.
someday. So I just wanted to make sure that if I'm going to compete against that person, there's no way he's outworking me in any type of aspect of sports, of life, or anything. So Kobe really kind of taught me outside of basketball, just like any aspect, just kill it.
Yeah.
Like play ball until you can't anymore.
Yeah.
Like for a day. Like work as hard as you can for a day until you're absolutely drained. Go and take a nap, go do something, and then get right back out there. Like, just like perfect it. Like, try to perfect it the best you can. Obviously, nobody's gonna be perfect, but yo, Kobe is
different.
Like, everybody can see it in my game. Like, how I play, and they're like, yo, like, you doing that, Kobe? You doing that, Kobe? And I'm like, this is all I've known.
Yeah.
Like, playing ball. Since I was able to process, like, playing at that level.
Right.
If that makes sense. So, it's the work ethic. Like, that's all I'm getting from
Yeah, Kobe's different.
Bryant.
I think everybody could attest to that. His work ethic was one of one, right? Rare. There's nobody like him. I don't think there'll ever be anybody else like him. I think the greats try to emulate their game, but more so their, like you said, the work ethic after him.
Yeah, and we couldn't watch Michael Jordan's like work ethic, like, you know what I mean? So like Kobe must have been that close to him to like understand what it takes to like do what he's doing on the court. Like we don't see like highlights of Michael Jordan's like workout routines. You see like maybe 2 or 3 clips, but like Kobe step by step, like through the years, was walking us through that. And with every video that I watch, I'm just like trying to absorb as much as I can. And that's where it just, I was a gym rat, like everybody knows that. Like if you had to choose basketball or going out to like hanging out with your friends, I'm in the gym.
Right.
Didn't matter.
Yeah, Kobe's different. I think, like we said, his work ethic is just one of one. It's so, I don't know, I think even I try to emulate it, right? I tell people all the time, like, that's one of my biggest skill sets is my work ethic. I don't feel like someone can outwork me. And
I think that is your biggest,
if I'm being honest. And if they can, you have to show me, right? And when you show me how hard you work, that gives me the opportunity that, well, like you said, maybe I can work a little bit harder. Yeah. Right? And like you said, that was Kobe.
Dude, there's times like with you, like us in high school and college, I'm outworking Caleb every single time. You somehow find a way to like, oh yeah, this is my 3rd workout of the day. You're insane. But that's the love of the game.
The only way it is. It was a love of the game, but it's also, right, it's the edge.
Yeah.
It's this mental edge for me to at least tell myself like, well, if you're working this hard, nobody else is, and it kind of gives you a little bit of a push. Whether it actually works or not, it is what it is. But that's what it does for me mentally.
That's why you're a Goku. You're not a Vegeta.
For real, I love Vegeta, bro. He's tatted on me. All right, so let's talk a little bit of basketball stuff. High school, we went to high school together. Obviously, we played basketball together. We played under Coach Lowry, one of the best coaches in Cortland high school history.
One of the best coaches, if not
the best basketball coach.
Coach Lowry, much love, man.
For sure, shout out Coach Lowry. So in Cortland, I'm just gonna go through some basketball stuff because I was telling you before, I didn't realize the trajectory of how much you got better over time. I don't think I realized that. We talked about too how efficient you were once you hit a certain level of basketball in college. There's a difference to me between just getting better and doing what you need to do, but to maintain greatness to me is more impressive than I think people realize, right? Like from a Kobe perspective, like he knows how good he is, yet he's still working harder, yet he's still figuring out ways, right? Because he has to maintain the greatness and to be able to hopefully one day exceed it.
Right.
So I'm just gonna go through some stuff real quick. Went to Cortland High School, played basketball there. Averaged 15, 4, and 3. Our senior year, which was super, super cool, we won our first divisional championship.
50 years.
50 years.
50 years.
That was quite the team.
5 seniors, 5 juniors, 5 sophomores.
Crazy.
Insane.
Crazy. Quite the team accomplishment. After that, after high school, you transferred to OCC, so Onondaga Community College.
Yeah.
You played your freshman and sophomore year a little bit there. In 60 games, you totaled 554 points, 112 rebounds, 252 assists, 64 steals. You averaged 9 points a game and almost 5 assists a game, which is pretty impressive as well. And you earned Mid-State Athletic Conference Player of the Week there as well. Now, when we talk about transitioning from OCC's to JUCO, right, from JUCO basketball to Morrisville to a good D3 program, this is where the stats to me started to make me go like, huh?
From OCC to Morrisville?
Yeah. So from your sophomore year to your junior year, you appeared in 29 games, only started in 5, You averaged 19 minutes a game, you scored 256 points, so about half of the amount that you scored in both years combined on your freshman sophomore year.
Yeah.
But you averaged 9 points a game still. You averaged just under 2 steals a game and 1 assist a game. So I'm looking up the stats. I'm like, man, that's kind of crazy. He played well freshman sophomore year at JUCO. Scored almost 600 points in 2 years, which is great. Goals, transfers. Junior year, I wouldn't say it's a down year at all, right? Started less games than normal. 19 minutes a game. Average 9 points still. So I'm like, huh. But then, this is where I was like, what? Bro, crazy. Because your senior year at Morrisville, you appeared in all 31 games, started in all 31 games. You averaged 33 minutes a game. You scored, in your senior, you scored 520 points that senior year. You averaged 17 points a game, averaged just under 2 steals, 3 assists a game. You shot 80% from the free throw line. You won a NEAC championship. You made it to the Elite 8 that year. Your final national team ranking was 22nd that year. You were NEAC first team all conference, ECAC Upstate Division III All-Star, NABC Division III All-Star District First Team. You finished your career second all-time in 3-point field goals made in the season, which is cool. But I'm gonna read off a stat in a little bit that's crazier. You're 5th in free throw percentage all-time, 10th in career points, and that's in just two seasons at Morrisville. You were 5th in career 3-point field goals made in 2 years at Morrisville. And maybe the most impressive stat, you were 1st in 3-point field goal percentage at 45, right? Like 45 is beyond efficient. So I gotta ask, right? What was the difference between your junior and your senior year as far as the jump in your play? Was it your confidence? Was it your did you understand the system more? Was it the players? Right, I'm sure it's a combining of all of those. I mean, I happen to be there, so it's kind of nice. I got to play on the team with you and see it firsthand. But I never realized the jump that you had from your junior senior year, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think that was?
So, Morrisville, junior year, I'm playing with some of the most talented people like I've ever seen in section.
Shout out Mickey.
Mickey Davis, Jalen Kinsey, Brandon Hanks, Kujak, Tom Wilk.
Shout out Mel.
Mel, like I can go on and on about the whole list. Stevie Thompson, who actually nobody knows. Stevie Thompson.
Stevie's the one.
Reason why I went to Morrisville.
Yo,
So
Stevie
Scoob.
Yo, facts. Yo, Scoob.
Should I tell that story?
Listen, good vibes.
Should I tell that story?
Steve.
Good vibes only. Yeah.
Listen, bro.
Shut up, baby.
If it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't have played you.
Yo.
You were on my body about it too.
So after OCC, and I tell this story all the time to people. They're like, "How'd you land at Morrisville?" And I was like, "You gotta ask Stevie Thompson that." Well, I say Scoob, and they're like, "Who's Scoob?" Like, people from Syracuse know who Scoob is, right? People here, they don't know. So I get done. I go with my dad to a visit to SUNY IT. It was SUNY IT at the time, I think.
Yeah.
And it's SUNY Poly now.
Correct.
I go to a visit there, meet the coach, meet some of the players. I get a walk through the campus and whatnot. I'm with my dad. We're in the gym, and he's sitting here giving me these promises and like telling me this and that, and like, you know, the vibe was just, I don't know what it was. I did not like the campus whatsoever. It was so spaced out. It was in the middle of nowhere, which it's weird because coincidentally Morrisville is too.
Right.
But there was just something off that I had with SUNY IT. So I get in the car and my dad starts it. He sits back like this and goes, "What do you think?" And I'm just literally sitting here. I'm like, "I don't know, Dad." I'm like, "This is all I got though," because I had no other offers anywhere else. Well, I had what's that place in Buffalo? Wilson? Is it Wilson College?
I'm not sure.
There's some school in Buffalo that I had an offer from. I was not going to go that far away from my family because I really wanted to be kind of close, but I wanted to be like just far enough where it's like not like chaotic to get in the car.
Right.
So we're getting in the car and we're getting ready to drive off campus. My phone rings. It's a random 315 number. Mind you, I don't really have any 315 numbers, only from the people I knew from Syracuse.
For sure.
So I'm like, okay, so I answer it. This is exactly, Scoob, you could testify to this. This is exactly how the conversation went. I'm like, "Hello?" He goes, "Yo, what you doing?" I'm like, I'm like, "Who is this?" He goes, "It's," I wish I could speak like fully how he said it. But he goes, "It's Stevie." I'm like, "Stevie who?" "Stevie Thompson." What the? He's like, "You ain't got my number?" I was like, "No, bro." Like, cause mind you, Scoob went to JD.
Right.
So I always knew of Stevie since high school. We played against him in that really wildly disrespectful team that they had on my junior and senior. Like, you guys, whatever. Like Lamar, Jalen, Brandon, Dave. Nah, you guys, whatever.
Yeah, JD was different.
It's just so stupid. Like, they keep
JD, yo, that's one thing I'll say right now.
Fair, bro.
Yo, to anybody that's playing,
that's not fair.
Anybody that's playing high school basketball right now in Section 3, y'all got it easy.
Yes, you have it easy.
Yeah,
Try playing against 5 to 6 Division I players, all starting, and they're so bored they're pulling up shots from half court. Brandon,
not even that,
and dunking in their socks.
They won
during halftime.
They won federations. Y'all, I'm just saying.
They beat city teams. You guys beat city teams.
Yo,
like the Liberties, the Christ the King. Like,
they won federations, bro. They won state. Listen. I just want to say this right now.
Y'all had it easy. Man.
All the Section 3 teams right now, there's no shot, no shade to none of y'all. I'm looking at the camera.
Yep.
But the JD team that we played was unbelievable.
You're not holding a candle.
So just...
If they felt kind enough, they would beat you by 30. And make it convincing that they beat you by 30.
Listen.
We lost by almost 50 points to these guys.
Listen, they were good.
50 points. Anyways, back on topic.
Anyways, back to Stevie.
Stevie. He calls me, because at the time, Jalen, who I considered a rival, playing throughout high school, I was like, yo, then there's Jared Littlejohn, there's Quadier Mike from ESM. I considered all them rivals, but Jalen was the one that was closest, similarity in games, except Jalen was just a little bit faster than me. Little bit, Jay.
But he was quick.
You were quick.
Yo, Jay, I'm not gonna lie. Right now, I'm gonna drop that video. You dropping that dude.
Oh,
Just so you know, right now. During this
that was
podcast right now,
Abington.
Right now, at this moment, I'm gonna edit that out. And I'm gonna put that in there right now.
He had the sidestep. Yeah,
That was
you gotta
good.
put that in there.
Oh,
I gotta
right
see
now,
it.
I'm gonna post it. Jay,
It's right
shout
here.
out to my boy Jay.
So
I'm gonna do
here.
it. I'm
Watch
going
this.
to-
Watch
I'm going
this.
to post it.
So Stevie, he tells me, he's like, yo, we're all getting together, man. We're all going to Morrisville, and we're all gonna get a chip. I don't even know what a Morrisville is at this time. I'm like, where is Morrisville? He's like, oh, it's like 45 minutes out, like from Syracuse and this and that. I was like Morrisville, and then I remembered Andrew Lucio, who was at the time, he was like my mentor, like when I was at OCC.
Right.
He went there, and he got his first chip there his first year, his junior year. But I played 2 years with, I played 2 years, no, 1 year with Andrew, right?
Yeah, 1 year with him.
It was 1 year with Andrew. Then he transferred out there. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's where Andrew went. So Stevie's sitting here telling me, he's like, yo, it's me, it's Mickey, I got a few dudes from Herkimer showing up. He's like, I got Jalen coming, and as soon as I heard Jalen's name, I was like, literally, like, I looked at, like, because he was on speaker, I looked at my dad, and I'm like, Jalen's going there. And my dad sitting here focused on driving, he just sits here and goes, could work. He's like, could work, you know? So, of course, I'm like, all right, man, like, you know, I appreciate the call, thank you for, like, reaching out, this and that. Hung up. This is my only other option, because I was not going to go to SUNY IT. Was not going to go there. So, of course, I get in contact with Coach Smith. Shout out Coach Smith.
Shout out Coach Smith.
And we set up a visit. Like I said, the school's like kind of similar. It was just in the middle of nowhere. It's an agricultural school. I don't know who's out here. Only person I knew out there was Andrew Lucio. The only person I knew. Had the campus, meet with Coach Smith. You know, he's telling me things that I like. Like, I don't like to hear, like, oh, you could start. It's like very similar to what Coach Pasiak kind of like told me and my parents, like when I went to visit there. Well, Jordan playing time is completely dependent on Jordan. And Coach Smith said the same thing. I liked it. And shout out to Coach Pasiak as well. That man, that's an amazing man right there. That man still checks up on me and still checks up on all his players. But Stevie Thompson's the reason why I went to Morrisville. And I'm putting that out there right now. And so shout out you, Scoob. We just got off the phone like not even 3 days ago. We were just checking up on each other. I love you, man. But it ended up being one of the best decisions I think I made as far as like college-wise. But I got off the question. What was the actual...
So I just was asking, I mean, you answered it already, but I was kind of just asking you about like the transition of why.
Oh, junior and senior year.
Yeah, why was it such a difference?
That's
in,
right.
Like your basketball statistics.
Again, the people that was around me. I'm surrounded by all this talent.
Right.
And I had a role. For some reason, I got really good at three-point shooting. I don't know if you remember me as a three-point shooter in high school or anywhere. For some reason, I became very efficient at three-point shooting.
You did.
And I could also score whenever I wanted to, but I also, like, Coach Guido makes a huge joke on me, oh, you're not a defender. And I became a solid defender my junior year. So, I guess the progress was just me sitting back, accepting my role, what I was at Morrisville, and that was coming off the bench, being the spark. That's what I was always told, like, I'm the spark. You're the spark off the bench. I was sixth man, but there was something different about the game because I'm learning from Andrew, who I've always been learning from. I'm watching Brandon Hanks, Brandon's Brandon. Like, you know.
Don't get me started with Brandon.
Nah, bro.
I love you, Brandon, though.
No. Brandon had this instinct to him. Like,
He was
bro,
good, bro.
I don't understand how someone
really good.
almost averaged a triple-double per game.
Yeah, he was good.
Because, like, yo, Brandon, you had a nose for the ball, and I don't understand how. Like, a shot would go up, and you'd go right to the spot it was rebounded. It was just, like, your instinct, whatever it is. But learning from him, Mickey Davis, like, player of the year before I got there.
He might have been the best
and
player
then
ever.
I think he's one of the best players, like, I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he might be the best to ever go there.
I can
He was
fully testify to that. Mickey.
He was different.
Except, like, you know, besides me busting his ass all the time in like, practices and whatnot. But I think like the transition was I was just absorbing everything that was around me, and not like oh I need to be starting. I need to I need to be doing this and that. No, it was just this is my role.
Right.
I'm coming in for 20 minutes, probably total of the game,
Right.
or maybe playing 5 to 8 minutes, and I'm coming right back out.
For sure.
Like whatever I can do in that 5 to 8 minutes, if it's not productive, then I'm the reason why this team is going to lose.
All right, so let me just divert a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get back on track. But you said something that really sparked something with me because me training these kids and I got a bunch of kids that are going to play in college, right?
Yeah.
And they do. And I think, guys, listen, that's one thing that you're hearing from somebody that did it. Know your role, right? And once you know your role, do everything that you possibly can to better yourself and better that role. If you get a minute, if you get 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 10, 15, 30.
Whatever you can do.
Do what you got to do because the point I'm trying to make is he went from 19 minutes, right? Still averaging 9, which is efficient, but from 19 to 33, right? To 31, 33, and starting in all, it was 33, and starting in all 31 games. Okay, so kids, if you're listening, which I know you're going to be listening to this, make sure you don't give it everything you got.
And with that comes like the preparation. So my junior year, yes, I didn't know I had the gift to like shoot a 3-point ball, but I found out like my first few games, all right, Jordan, like you can hit a 3. How can I maintain that through a whole season? So I'm talking to Coach Smith. Coach Smith starts me off with this like the big, like you know the big basketballs. Mm-hmm. He's like shoot at the rim for like a few times, and it weighs the actual same amount as like an actual college basketball, but it's just bigger. So it's like there's some weird type of science behind it. Coach Smith knew, but he just like he gave it to me. He goes, start shooting with that, like as to warm up. Like I'm warming up and I'm shooting with that. Like I didn't know how many shots I was shooting, but even after practice, like you know, you take the jersey off, like and you're just shooting with that ball. If it was going to help, if I believed it was going to help me maintain my role on that team, I'm absorbing anything I can to get better at the game.
For sure.
So, you said, I don't know what the stat was percentage-wise junior year.
45 your senior year, 45%.
45 senior year.
Yeah.
What was junior?
Junior year, I don't think I have the stat.
Oh. Well, whatever it was, I had to find a way to like maintain my role because I'm the sixth man, I'm the spark. So that's like, it's not pressure. There's no way it's like pressure on you. It's, if anything, like, if anybody's applying the pressure, it should be you applying the pressure on yourself.
Well, I was gonna say it is pressure. I disagree. It is pressure, but it's good pressure.
Yes.
Right. It's needed pressure for what we've been talking about with Kobe and you.
That's true.
It's greatness because it is pressure, bro. There's healthy pressure, right, and there's obviously non-healthy pressure, and we all know what that feels.
And dude, I was a kid that I just came from being a leading scorer on my team from OCC and high school. And now I have to assume this bench role. Of course, like anybody who is competitive, they're gonna be like, "Nah, man, I should be starting. I should be." But like, swallow your pride if you want to win.
Right.
Like if whatever it takes to win. At this point, like, this is what I hate about this generation. I had 30 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists, but we lost. No, but look at the stats I had though. What else can I do? You can do so much more. It's not about the stats. You can do anything.
How about you win?
Yes.
How about you win?
What coach and what like player that's really good with the eye test is looking at a kid that's averaging 25, 5, and 5, but they're 1 in 10? Like you can blame like everything else around that, but like there's certain things you can do to like help your team. If that means swallow your pride, take less shots, then do that.
Right.
Not every team is the same though. Like you know what I mean? Like there's certain players that really aren't that good, and like you're probably surrounded by a bunch of kids that aren't that good. But like, how do you figure out where you are on that team, and at the same time, I can be super productive. Like I can go off for like this amount of points, or I can go off for this amount of rebounds. And I think that's what everybody confuses. Like scoring is like how you're gonna help your team. Coach Smith would literally tell me, get in there, hit a couple threes. I'm like, okay. but like the timing of it, like when to do it, like when to like shoot the three, like there's so much behind it. But circling back, the transition I think was just I accepted a role, and I knew after I accepted that role, like after that, I could be one of the best players. Like I know my work ethic, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I could score whenever I want. I could do whatever, like, but like accepting my role at the time.
So to lead into that, you ended up finishing with 1,330 points total in your college career.
Yeah.
Between OCC and Marshall, right? Which is amazing, right? The goal that everybody shoots for is 1,000, right? And you did over that, which is amazing. And I think that is a testament to work ethic. That's a testament to knowing your role. That's a testament to pushing yourself, to listening to coaches, to understanding the structure of plays, to understanding what's going on. There's just so many, like you said, there's so many moving parts, and for you to do that to that level and that intensity is amazing. So the last basketball part I want to talk about is the Bulldogs.
The Bulldogs.
Big up team. What was it like?
Jimmy Evans.
We just touched on it a little bit, not a lot. What was it like? Did you enjoy it? What made you stop?
First year I played 2018-2019 season. I think it was 2018. I'll just go with that. They were telling me, because during that, like when I was done with college, was 2014. In between that time, like I was trying out for combines. I don't know if you know this. I went to 2 G League tryouts, and then I went to 2 NBA like it was like a combine of some sort,
Cool.
like 2 combines. One was in Chicago. I remember I stayed at Donovan's place, and we drove an hour to Chicago because he was about an hour from Chicago because he lives like West Lafayette at the time. And the other one was one of them was for the Fort Wayne Mad Ants, and the other one was for the Erie Bayhawks, where Steph Curry's brother, Seth Curry, was playing at the time. So during that time, I was just like kind of like really disappointed. I'm like, I'm not landing anything. I'm doing these tryouts and like I'm making it to like the last cut, and there's just something they're not seeing, or it's like I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So the Binghamton Bulldogs start like becoming a thing, and at this time I'm just like almost tapped out. Mentally, I'm almost tapped out from basketball, and I forgot who sent me the link, but they were like, yo, you should go and try out for this, Binghamton Bulldogs. I was like, what is it? They're like, it's semi-pro. It's ABA, American Basketball Association. And I was like, is that with the red, white, and blue ball? And that, to be honest, people don't know, the ABA was like the first NBA.
Right.
Like it was the ABA first. It was the ABA was the NBA before it was the NBA. But there's teams like from all over the place. So I was like, all right, man, go to a tryout. I make the team, and again, I don't know any of these guys I'm playing with. I knew Chris Cartwright though. Shout out to Chris Cartwright. We were playing against him in like summer leagues. Then there was this dude named Jimmy Gray, who was Mr. Binghamton. That's what they were calling him, and I think he lived up to that because Jimmy was just the easiest bucket. Like, bro, his game was so smooth. And then there was this other big man on the team named Kyrie Sutton, who I don't really know his full background, but I think he played like at a very, very, very high level. And he actually broke our backboard at our home court.
Jeez.
Broke the rim and shattered our backboard. I gotta show you that. If I can pop that up right here, right now, and if we do that, you guys gotta watch that, click that. But dude, it was weird. Again, I don't know anybody on the team. I'm assuming my role. My role is to shoot threes at that point because I was incredibly efficient. And I don't think I told you this. There was a time I was on the team, bro. I was shooting mid-season, I think it was. I was shooting 50% from 3.
Jeez.
50%. And I think I was only playing like 23 minutes total.
Wow.
Total of 23 minutes. So that means like I can only afford to miss 2 shots from 3.
Right, because you're not
I
playing
can
a whole
only
lot.
afford that.
But
So
you're making them.
that was the role I had to assume.
Wow.
But we ended up getting to the end of the season. I ended up tearing my ACL and meniscus, and I missed the last 3 games, but we won the regionals on that team. And they ended up going out to Texas to play like for the championship. They lost. But again, it's like I was with Mike McCoy, like even telling him, like, bro, we're some small town dudes, man. We just won a regional championship in the ABA. And again, Mike McCoy, like, you know him, man. He's
different.
He is different, but again, he had a role to assume on that team, and he assumed that role. And like that was just me and him. Like every time we get in the game, we would just do that. So that transition was kind of weird because the ABA is like really like fast tempo. It's like gotta be running like all the time. And you know me, I stay in shape the best I can.
Yeah.
Like I'm just running like all the time. So like I don't really know. To me, it wasn't really a huge transition other than the fact the rules were different.
Gotcha.
Like the rule, like that's it for that.
Yeah, I remember I loved watching a couple games that I went up there to watch you play because it was different. It was super fast paced though, high scoring,
Super high scoring.
couple different rules.
4-point plays.
Bruh,
Like,
fine.
what?
All right, so we're gonna kind of conclude this little podcast, right? We're gonna talk about some pretty serious stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a lot of people know me and they see the football stuff, they see the gym stuff, they see what I do in the community, but I don't think they see the loss, right, that I've experienced in life. I don't think they see the pain. I don't think they see the heartache every day. I think I do a pretty good job of masking it to an extent, whether it's a smile on my face.
You are good at that. Knowing you for as long as you're very good at masking everything and putting on that front.
Yeah, whether it's that, whether it's just not talking about it, whether it's like you said, adding an extra workout.
Yeah.
Or whether it's just me kind of handling it on my own, in my own spare time, and just with myself and my thoughts and my feelings. But I think loss comes to all of us in different ways and in different measures. So I would say, excuse me, for you, you know, you went through a pretty traumatic loss with your dad, and I think I didn't realize how much it touched the community until everything kind of unfolded. I didn't realize the type of presence that he had, right? The legacy that he left, I would say, for so many people around the area. Sometimes you think when you know somebody that it's just like you and them.
Yeah.
So the relationship that I had with your dad, I thought that like that's all I knew. But seeing so many people affected and seeing so much love poured out, man, was amazing. But yeah, talk about that a little bit. Talk about loss. Talk about how that was for you. Talk about how you are now, right? How you get through it every day. I feel like it's like an ever-growing thing.
Wow. June 25th, 2019, that's when I lost my dad. So, backstory behind that, I'll try to keep this as short as I can and like chop it up the best that I can. I actually was with you in that morning, and you were training kids at the Salvation Army near the Stone Lounge, like the one to the left, that little gym that they had. You had Noah there, Nick Craig, Caleb Thompson, like all these like youth kids, like same thing you've been doing like for the last 5 years or 10 years. Like, you know, you've been doing this for a while. But I go there, and I remember the first thing I told you, I was like, man, my ankle's really hurting. And I'm just sitting there watching these guys warm up, watching them put them through the drills, and I'm sitting in the back, like kind of like 3/4 court behind them, and I'm like doing these stretches with my ankle. Start feeling a little better, and this and that. I'm just watching still, and after that, I go home, because you train the kids for like 45 minutes, like maybe not even that. Go home, and I see my dad on his laptop, his glasses on, and he's sitting in his couch, and I'm like, what are you doing? Mind you, it's 2019, and my dad just got his degree in 2018. He sits there, he goes, "Oh, I'm just applying for jobs." I'm like, "What job? Like, what are you talking about?" And he said, just jobs, Manny. Manny is my nickname. I can't believe I'm airing this shit out, but Manny is my nickname. That's what my father's always called me. But he's like, "I'm just looking for jobs, Manny, like, something." I told him, I was like, "Yo, get off your laptop, man. Let's go and let's go to noon ball," because it was a Tuesday. I was like, "Let's go play noon ball. Let's go." He sits there, he looks, he goes, looks at his laptop, he's looking at this thing, he goes, "All right." He's like, "Let's go." I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna go up and grab my shoes." He's like, "I gotta change." Goes up, he changes. He comes downstairs, he goes, "Man, I haven't hooped in a very long time. This might be ugly." Bro, as we're driving, right? We get to, because I lived on Church Street at the time. As we're driving down South Main, because we came to Williamson, we went through, we're at that light that's near DP Doe. Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror comes on. Michael Jackson, June 25th. Michael Jackson passed away June 25th of 2009.
Wow.
Insane.
I didn't know that.
So we're sitting here listening to it. I'm driving, and at the time it was 10 years. Yeah. He sat there and he goes, "Man, Michael's been gone 10 years, huh?" And I was like, "Dad, I think about it all the time. Like, I can't believe he's gone." And this one thing, I don't think I've told anybody this story. The one thing he told me that resonates with me all the time, he goes, "It's crazy how life moves, how quick it goes." It's like, it's wild. 10 years. We get to the Y, we're playing, not even like few trips down, like, he just passes out. And I've seen him pass out, or heard about him passing out before, because he was playing tennis with your brother, Josh, and he passed out on the tennis court, didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
When he got the testing and all that, I just thought, like, all right, Dad's out of shape, like, it's weird, like, he passed out. So I see him pass out, and I just walk over casually, and I'm like, "Dad, you okay?" And like, you black out at that point, because something's not right. But after that loss, like you said, like, you really don't realize the impact somebody has until you run into multiple motherfuckers that are just like, yo, and they get emotional right there on the spot. And mind you, bro, it's been like 3-4 years. 3-4 years. Well, it's gonna be 5, but like after the 3rd or 4th year, there's people coming up to me and literally crying and telling me what Eric Pryor meant to them. And I'm sitting here like, wait, whose dad was it again? But that's the impact that he had.
Right.
Which, till this day, like, it's like, I'll never get tired of hearing a story about my father. Because it wasn't just my family that lost, it was an entire community.
Right.
And the fact that people still, like, are like, "Hey, like, you're Eric Pryor's son? Give me a hug." And they still, to this day, it's been 5 years, bro. 5 years coming up in June.
That's amazing.
And I still get that.
Yeah.
So, that had me, like, I know I was acting like I was, like, all cool and whatnot. But I think the one thing I was told was like, "Dude, it's okay to be vulnerable." I can't remember who told me that. That whole year was a blur. That's when I was coaching at Morrisville too. And to be honest, I wasn't all mentally there at Morrisville coaching either. But it landed me some, like, a really good friend, John Brennan. John Brennan, shout out to you. And I think I fell out of love with basketball during that time. Like, I tried to make sense of it. Why I just don't like hoops anymore. And like I said, I played in 2020, and I played in like after that, I wanted to know why I could not find myself to play basketball again. And I really think it was because he was gone.
Yeah.
Because he was my biggest fan, like my biggest supporter in all of that. High school, college, he was coming to all my games. He was going to all my tryouts with me. And so like when he died, I feel like my love for it died too. And in the same breath, that was probably for a lot of other people too. Like whatever aspirations they had to be, whatever they wanted to be, I really feel like that died with him. And it's like really, it's really, really tricky for me. Cause like I could be still playing ball. Like I know I can still hoop. but for some reason I do not enjoy the game anymore. I really do not. Couldn't tell you why. Still to this day, I could not tell you why. Like, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
But as far as like loss goes, man, that was the first 2 years was the most challenging times of my life, because not only did I have to put on this front and like talk to an entire community and be like, yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I mean, hey, you know, loss happens. Like, yo, like, to fake that for 2 years and not actually have like people really genuinely like check up, like you have every single time. Like, you already know, like you've been through like very similar situations, so it's like to check up and just be like, everybody's gonna tell you they're okay. And like, I always thought that was the dumbest question to ask me. Like, when people come to me like, hey, how you doing? How the fuck do you think I'm doing, dude? Like, it's been 2 months. Like,
Right.
I just lost my dad. It's been a year. I just lost my dad. Like, you know, I'm still processing. But the grief, like, I needed that grief though. I'm not gonna lie. The grief actually like put me in a place in my life where I had to be like, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to like be at your job and just break down crying.
Right.
Where in other situations I would just go to the bathroom and like, no, I'm good. But like, it's so frowned upon now. Like people, like anybody, I'm not saying man or woman, but like if somebody cries like right in front of you, we like pity that, but we have no clue what they're going through.
Right.
Nothing at all. So the loss, man, altered me in the right direction, but it was very tough those first 2 years. Those first 2 years, I needed to go through that though. I needed to experience something that close, because now the appreciation towards life and just being alive every single day, and like moments like these, like with you, every single day, like I am not taking anything for granted anymore. Especially, I look at you in the eyes right now.
Right.
We leave this place, I don't know if I'm gonna see you again.
Right.
So like, I dab you up and I just like,
Right. It's love.
I love you, like,
Sure.
and that's for real.
For sure.
Because it can be taken away so quickly, but I needed that, because I really felt invincible before that. Like, you know, especially on the come up with like everything, I'm like, oh, I'm about to be a professional basketball player, I'm doing all this. It's like, it humbled me quick.
Yeah.
It humbled me so quick.
Yeah, I would say to piggyback off of that, as we kind of close up here, yeah, loss does something to you, whether you want it to or not. It's inevitable. We're all gonna face some type of loss at some point. The longer that we're alive, the more people will lose, and the more things that we could potentially lose. I think feeling it out, having the right people around us, and just doing our best to stay optimistic is huge, right? But hey, listen, bro, I want to say thank you for pulling up to this episode, man. I appreciate you. I know the viewers are going to appreciate this talk, and love it. Love you. Thank you again.
Stand up.
Shout out, Clocked In.
Look how small Caleb is.
You feel me?
He's very short.
Appreciate y'all for tuning in.
Appreciate you guys.